Thank you for joining me again. Welcome to Agape Thai headquarters. We've been talking about implementing Christocracy now in view of Globalization Tsunami. My name is Motupalli, and we've been discussing in the previous part, part 5 of the presentation about the Globalization Tsunami's preamble, and as I said, Chief Minister Y.S. Rajshekar Reddy said that the thing that makes the religion and spirituality are what make us humane. You see, without spirituality and religion, everything else is mechanical, and it is not. There's no value that secularism can bring to discourse between people. Secularism is sans love, sans any sort of feelings, any sort of affections and all these things, whereas spirituality and religion offer humane disposition between people, humane communication, and care and love, affections, kindness, what you name it, everything else comes with religion. So that's why Y.S. Rajshekar Reddy said that. Now, therefore, some de facto global government based on true religion would have succeeded, ought to have succeeded, even in this single global society that globalization has turned us into. Reason being, the good news has reached the ends of the earth. For the truly rich have one, which makes the good news which makes one truly rich has reached the ends of the earth. And it should have been a globalization of prosperity. The globalization which we are talking about should have been a globalization of prosperity if we had implemented the commandments of love. Now, for the visible reign of Christ to come, the gospel has reached to the ends of the earth. So this should have been something which should have come about through globalization, and love and it should have been a prosperity for the poor developing countries alike, just like the developed countries are prospering. But unfortunately, this has not been the case. Therefore, now this was observed by Arindam Chaudhary that globalization should have been a globalization of prosperity. Okay, so but we have thrown the baby out with the bathwater on seeing some states that have adopted pseudo forms of theocracy and faith. On the other hand, in addition to that, the globalized nations like USA and UK, which have adopted, which have developed and capitalistic, have adopted the laissez-faire license to even sin anarchistic economic policy with Calvinistic ethic, rather than a paternalistic and engaging economic policy with Armenian ethic. And the kings of all nations got drunk by this wine of immorality, and the globalized society too became anarcho-capitalistic. It seems my repeated counsel to the Queen of England and the President of the United States have been in vain. I have written to them in from 2004 in an article ushering in Christocracy and global paternalism. Now, what can poor and developing nations do to manage the challenges of globalization? The dynamics of this globalization wave, even though it is of tsunamic proportions, is subtle. So people require not relief, but regulation and a means to ride this wave. The authors of the dark side of globalization who have echoed some of my ideas, have said that that rather than countering globalization tsunami, we should. It is foolhardy to think counter globalization. Rather than doing that, it's an outright rejection of globalization, and a retreat into autarky is neither practical nor desirable. Who wants to be the next Myanmar or North Korea? As one wag has put it, opposing globalization is like opposing the sun coming up every morning and about as fruitful. Equally though, who wants to be the next Iceland, Greece or Ireland? The notion that endless liberalization, deregulation and relaxation of capital and all border controls except labor will assure perpetual self-sustaining growth and prosperity has proven to be delusional. The three Baltic nations that embarked on this course, Estonia, Latvia and Lithuania, to which for good measure they added the flat tax, all had double-digit negative growth in 2009. For developing countries, lowering all barriers to the tides of global economy may end up drowning much of local production. Raising barriers that are too high may be counterproductive, if not futile. Countries that find the global golden middle, like Chile and Singapore, tend to thrive, channeling the enormous opportunities offered by an expanding world economy for the benefit of their citizens. Those that do not, like many in Central and West African countries, are marginalized and left behind. Finding the right, if difficult, balance between openness and regulation requires keeping a watchful eye on trans-border crimes that thrive in the interstices of national and the international. Illicit trade, accounting for 10% of the global economic product, according to some estimates, could be growing at 7 times the rate of growth of illegal trade. So that's the end of quote from the dark side of globalization. Thank you for joining me. We'll get back to you once again in the next part. So join me again in a short while. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.